Hello, everybody. My name is Wayne O'Neill. I'm the city manager of Fraser. I'm here today to put on our web channel all of the information we have contained in our budget. This budget we're talking about is for the 2021 fiscal year, which begins July 1st of this year. I'm going to begin with an overview of revenues and expenses. I'm not going to get into great detail, but one of the things that you, as a citizen or an elected official, can do is you can stop the presentation when you're at home looking at this, and you can view the different slides in detail and get out as much information as you may wish to get out. And if you have any questions, obviously you can give us a call and we can try to clarify any information or answer your questions. I'm going to do a budget overview as I indicated, and then I'm going to go through each one of the budgets. So we're going to start with the general fund. The general fund is the largest fund within the city. This is where all of your tax money goes to. We have taxes, we have fees, charges for services, whatever, but this is what funds your entire city outside of your Department of Public Works. So with that, the first slide here is looking at the expenditures that are proposed. Now again, City Council will be discussing this, and they will make the final decision as to what the revenues will be and what the expenditures will be. But the proposed budget that you see has $15,415,916. It's made up of capital outlay, which there's no capital outlay in this budget as it exists. City Council will be asked to look at that and fund certain projects they may want. You can see the largest portion of this pie is employee wages. Then you have benefits, taxes, employer taxes, pension costs, retiree health care, supplies, contracted services, building operations, and vehicles. Almost 98% of this budget is made up of what we call people costs, the employees and their associated costs. So there's not a lot of movement within here. As you know, over the last couple of years, City Council and the department heads were to cut positions out of the public safety because you cannot turn off the lights. There's not a lot of different places you can save considerable dollars that are outside of employee costs. The revenues as presented in this budget are $17,472,822 $17,472,822. You can see the taxes make up $13 million, or 75% of this budget. The other thing are state grants, administrative charges, the other funds, state shared revenues, penal costs. So as you can see, 75% come in taxes. Overall, with this budget, you'll see that there will be a net increase in the general fund of a little over $2 million the way this is presented. You'll have an unassigned fund balance of almost $8 million at the end of this fiscal year. Included in this budget is a continuation of the 9 mills for police and fire special assessment. This chart is going to be updated when it's presented later on. Each mill now will be worth $436,000 versus the $424,000. These numbers that you see here are illustrative, and they're not going to change hardly at all. It's just illustrative on, the value of a house and what this 9 mills means in additional taxes for these types of houses. Also, we have pension costs, and this is the actuarial accrued liabilities table that we have. Now, this is from June 30th, 2018. They're always 2 years behind. But you can see we're only 52% funded here, and that's an issue. And that's one of the things council has been looking at. Last year, they sent an additional $800,000 to MERS, the Municipal Employees Retirement System, to help increase the funding so that we can increase this number and lower that number. This does not take into effect the recent activities of the stock market. As we all know, the stock market lost a third of its value. So that's going to have an effect on us. Here's the computed annual employer contribution that we have to make on a yearly basis. And depending on what assumptions you make, whether it's this rate of return, that rate of return, or that rate of return, tells you what your annual contribution will be. You can see with most of them, they're going up from $3 million. It's going to go up almost to $7 million up there. And that's unsustainable. That's unsustainable, and that's one of the things that MERS is looking at and what we're trying to get ahead of when we make these additional contributions. So here's the assets of June 30th, 2017. And you can see that we are really in rough shape when it comes to retiree health care because we're 0% funded. Now, we are right now in a process of going through a corrective action plan. And that has been approved under PA 202 of 217, where we're sending $207,000 a year for the next 20 years. In hopes of bringing that up to a level that's acceptable under this act. And that's it for the general overview.